Hey, I'm Viv, mom, storyteller, and always a work in progress. Welcome to Just Call Me Viv, the podcast where we talk about the messy, beautiful middle of life. Here we get honest about dating in our 40s and 50s, perimenopause, relationships, self worth, and starting over, sometimes more than once. It's raw, reflective, and always real. Whether you're folding laundry, sipping cafecito, or just need someone who gets it, this space is for you. Welcome to Just Call Me Viv. This is the first episode in my series, The Second Act Romance. So, if you've ever found yourself staring at your phone, wondering how in the world you ended up back in the dating pool at this stage in your life, this is for you. Dating in your 30s, 40s, or beyond isn't a do over. I just turned 50. I'm a newly minted 50-year-old. So, I want to remind you that it's not going back to the beginning. It's what I call your second act, a continuation of your story, just with more experience, more wisdom, and yes, maybe a few more scars. And today I want to talk to you about the mindset that can change everything about how you approach this new chapter. And I apologize for my voice. I really want to record this episode. I've been feeling under the weather. But again, I won't get to posting this podcast if I don't record, and I'm recording because I want you to listen to this. So let's get back to dating. And let's be honest, dating now is not the dating that we encountered in our 20s. Back then, we were bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and we were experimenting, figuring out what we liked, and sometimes stumbling into relationships because they showed up, right? We were far more social. We'd go out in groups. For me, I used to go dancing a lot with my friends and my peers, and that's how we met people. And so dating in your 40s, you ended up with people not because you aligned, but proximity, right? Probably similar interests. You weren't thinking about your values. So in your 20s, you had fewer responsibilities, fewer expectations, and sometimes less self awareness. So you were probably taking far more risks when you were younger. But in our second act of life, we bring more with us. Maybe it's children, or we've devoted a life to careers. For some of us, it's divorces or separations or the end of long term relationships. It may involve healing, doing some work that it takes to be a healed person. And our second act comes with like the weight of a past heartbreak. But what I want to remind you is that we also bring a lot of strength with us. We bring a lot of wisdom. We bring a lot of clarity. And we know what we don't or won't settle for anymore. And that makes this season, I think, a little bit different. Having that self-awareness about what it is that you want. And I promise you that you're not alone in this journey. According to Pew Research, almost 40% of adults between the ages of 30 and 49 have tried online dating. And that's me. And the majority of them say they're not just looking for casual encounters. They're actually looking for real compatibility, companionship, and something that fits their life, right? So they're looking for a little bit more long-term and not just situationships or casual dating. That's 40% of the people who are on social dating platforms, online dating platforms, I should say. They're looking for something more significant. So again, it's out there. It's out there for us. We just have to kind of go look for it. So that brings me to the core promise of this series, to help us get some confidence as we join the world of online dating, is the me before the we. So what does that mean? What's the premise of that? It simply means that you invest in yourself first. That doesn't mean that you stop. dating or that you quit dating to do the work. That means it's simultaneous, right? But you're centering yourself in this experience and in this journey. And you build the kind of life that feels whole on its own, so that when a partner comes along, they add value to your life instead of filling an empty space, right? Um, it's not about going out there and looking for Mr. and Mrs. Right to complete you. You have to become your own Mr. and Mrs. Right. And for me, that looked like focusing on my health. It looked like focusing on my relationship with my daughter and my creative passions. The stronger that I became in those areas, the clearer it was what kind of partner would complement me and what kind of partner wouldn't. So I started this journey back when I was 49. There were aspects of myself, aspects of my health that I wanted to improve. And the journey has been slow. And, I've worked on becoming healthier, making better choices. And I'm at a place where when I turned 50, I was ready to jump into the world of online dating and understood a little bit more of the kinds of partners, the partner that I would want. So when you commit to the me, you're centering yourself before you can become away. You stop asking who will love me, and you start asking yourself, how do I love myself so deeply that anyone who comes into my life has to rise to meet that standard? And that's pretty powerful. You love yourself so much that someone has to meet that standard. And I'll circle back to that. I'll share a personal story at some point of someone that I met through online dating. And I had to choose myself and walk away because I love myself more than wanting to keep someone who may not value me the same way. So that's really significant, right? When you love yourself so deeply, you're going to choose yourself and you're going to be less apt to overlook the red flags and really hone in on what it is that you want. And dating is trial and error, and it involves some risk taking. It doesn't mean you sit on your couch and hope that the UPS driver shows up and he's a perfect match, or that the woman making your coffee at your local Starbucks is going to be your perfect match. And here's the shift that I want you to make in your mindset and in your thinking. Dating is not about reaching a finish line. It really isn't about like this end goal or goalpost. It's not about getting married by a certain age. I've never been married and I'm 50, or how many matches you rack up on Hinge. It really is about alignment. And does this person add to my peace? Do they add to my life? Do they bring up my curiosity? Can we grow together? For me, those are really important things. Can I grow with this person? Do they have a sense of adventure or spontaneity? Because I know I can be really stubborn, and I need someone who's kind of like going to compliment me in those ways. Every single interaction, even the awkward coffee date, even the guy who never followed up after texting all week, is a chance to learn. And when you start looking at dating that way, discouragement doesn't hit as hard, because instead of asking, why didn't this work out? You start asking, what did this teach me? And sometimes you're going to be the one who doesn't follow up when someone's texting you. Sometimes you're going to be the one who's not showing interest. And a lot of that requires communication. And it's a reminder that we're also the villains in someone's story. It's not about villainizing people who've caused you heartbreak or who've ghosted you. It's about really thinking, what did this experience teach me? And I'll share this. I remember, again, I've been on a couple dates with like 3 different people, and then I seriously dated one person for about a couple of months, and I haven't been on a date since. But one anecdote, one thing that I really wanted to, to share with you is that I went on a coffee date with someone, and I knew within the first like minute that this person wasn't a fit. But instead of seeing it as a wasted time, I looked at it as clarity. And it was a friendly conversation. It was about 30 minutes long. I think we both knew it wasn't a match. I walked away with more confidence about the values I needed to hold on to, and I was less afraid of saying no quickly, and that's growth. So the guy, after 30 minutes, he thought that I was going to kiss him. And I was like, no, I'm sorry. I just met you. And I think maybe it was at that time he realized, like, yeah, this is not a match. She's not into me. Anyhow, I learned that my boundaries and my values are my guiding posts in how I want to be treated and how I expect to be treated. And here's something powerful that I want you to take with you. Success in dating isn't about finding the one. Success is also finding yourself, finding the courage to walk away, finding your voice to speak your truth, finding joy in small connections. And maybe success is having a meaningful conversation, or the realization that your intuition was right. Maybe success is simply not giving up on love, even after disappointment. And that's hard sometimes. I'm going to be honest. There have been nights when I've stayed up late and I've cried because I'm like, when is love gonna find me? But you have to kind of focus and really have that belief that love is possible and it is out there even after disappointment. So as we step into this series together, I want you to reframe how you see your second act. You're not starting over, you're building forward, and you're not behind. I'm 50. I certainly don't think I'm behind. You're becoming, and that is a powerful place to date from. And here's your invitation. I want you to take a quiet moment this week and write down one lesson from your past relationship that you're grateful for. You can write it on a Post-it note, on a notebook, in your notes app, on your phone. I want you to think of the one thing that you were really in that past relationship that you're grateful for. And again, maybe that was a painful time in your life. Maybe it was beautiful, but it taught you something. And let that be the first entry in your new dating journal. A reminder that nothing you've lived through is wasted. Don't think of these past relationships as wasted time. And next time, we'll build your internal compass, your values, your walls, and your wisdom. Until then, remember, it's me before we.